What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to Friday's episode of the Plus Money Sports Betting Podcast. My name is Q. You can follow me on all socials at Bets by Q. And of course, this podcast is brought to you by Black Sheep Betting, where it is a dog's world. There are two links in the description. All right. One is for the VIP. That is where I drop all of my official plays. It is designed for disciplined bettors, not parlay players. It's not designed for you to subscribe and you take all three of the plays and you put them together. If you are doing that, you are losing. Okay? This is about consistent unit sizing, long-term profit, and straight betting. There are not that many parlays. There are no lotto tickets in the VIP. Okay? The goal is to stay positive. Pay an extra bill a month. Okay? The second link, that one's a bit more lackadaisical, if you might say. It is for the free Discord chat hosted by my guy Will from the Double Fault Tennis Podcast. It is a place to hang out, to talk sports 24/7, share bets, celebrate wins, cope with losses. Friendly banter is welcome. Look, we're closing in on 1,000 members there. Come join the community. You'll usually catch me in the tennis channel late at night or in the early hours of the morning. Right now, we are sweating a plus 220 in the chat together. Okay? It's absolutely free. Check it out. We would love to have you in there. It is one of the things I look forward to every single day is hopping into the chat, seeing what people are up to. Okay? So come in there, check it out. You won't regret it. It's absolutely free. All right, yesterday recap. Check it out. We had a winning day. Okay, 2-1 yesterday. Feels good to finally get some momentum heading into Friday. All right, the Islanders crushed it. They put up 7 goals, absolutely controlled the game the entire time. 9 total goals scored, which is a number we will circle back to later on next week. It's a hockey trend, all right? We also cashed the Chargers, -3. Smooth from start to finish. I mean, the only loss that we had was the half unit on Quentin Johnston anytime touchdown. And honestly, I can live with it, okay? He didn't see his first target until the fourth quarter. The Chargers were just running the clock. No need to panic. We stayed disciplined, and it paid off, okay? So 2-1 overall for the day. We are up for the week. Only a few units, but we're up. And you already know what today is. It's Parlay Friday. And I've got a good one for you today, okay? Almost 10-1 odds, depending on which book you get it at. But before we jump into tonight's slate, quick story about yesterday. Okay, I've been saying all week, hey, I don't bet the NBA. I hate the NBA. The NBA is terrible. Look at all this stuff that just came out about players and coaches and involvement. I'm sure there's a lot more to come. Well, then last night, FanDuel hits me with a free NBA bet. It's 10 p.m. to 1 game left. I'm waiting to bet some tennis at, midnight in Tokyo. And it's the Warriors versus the Nuggets. It's halftime. I scroll down. I see Aaron Gordon has 25 points at halftime. I look at live player props, and I see Aaron Gordon 45 points is at 22-1, so plus 2,200. I figure 10 points per quarter, why not? Next thing you know, he drops 50. So yeah, I cashed my first and last NBA regular season bet of the year. It hits 22-1. So sometimes the gambling gods just have a sense of humor, because when I shared this with some of my followers and some of my buddies, they're like, bro, you don't even bet NBA. How did you hit that? I'm like, I don't know. I had a feeling. And that just goes to show, like, you have to blend data and intuition in this world of sports betting, okay? Never go against the gut, no matter what the stats say. Don't go against the gut. Because when you go against the gut and you play the opposite side, guess what happens? You lose and you feel like an idiot. And then you get into your head and it becomes this mental warfare between you and the play. And it is a space of ambiguity that you do not want to get into. Trust me, my friend. You can outsharp yourself just as fast as you can do anything else. Okay. Um, but anyway, let's talk about the real spotlight tonight. Game 1 of the World Series, Dodgers versus Blue Jays. This one is in Toronto. The first World Series game played in, or I guess on Canadian soil since Joe Carter's walk-off in 1993. You better believe the building is going to be rocking here. In Toronto, they earned home field advantage by winning one more game than the Dodgers in the regular season. Funny how that goes, right? We talk about, oh, this game doesn't really matter. Well, these games matter, okay? That single game means that game 1 and a potential game 7 are both in Canada. It's proof that every win matters. And now here's a trend that you need to know. Teams that win game 1 of the World Series go on to win the championship. I think it's actually closer to like 70% of the time, but 63% of the time, that number is growing in the last 10 years. So yes, game 1 sets the tone in a massive way. And the Blue Jays got here not with their pitching. I'm not saying that their pitching is bad, but they got here with their bats, plain and simple. 6.4 runs per game this postseason, hitting 296 as a team. The rest of the playoff field combined is hitting 218. This team in the Blue Jays is flat out mashing, and they're being led by the one and only Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's been seeing beach balls. 10 hits in his last 19 at-bats, batting .451 with 12 RBIs. When he's hot, the whole lineup follows. You saw that in George Springer. You saw that in IKF. You saw that in Varsho. You saw that in Ernie Clement. I mean, this team is feeding off the momentum of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And when they win, they don't just win, they win big. Every postseason win so far has come by multiple runs. So here's what I've got for game 1. Okay? Gonna give you the disclaimer right here. I think that the Blue Jays win the whole thing, okay? I think that they do. I think the Blue Jays win the entire series. I think it's plus 180. But I'm gonna ride the trend, okay? Give me the Blue Jays on the money line, plus 130, 1 unit. They've got the hotter bats, the home crowd, and all momentum heading into this one. I'm a little bit biased because I was born and raised in Buffalo, New York, so obviously the Bisons, that's their AAA affiliate, so we've got guys on the team that we've watched come through the minor leagues. But listen, like, I know Blake Snell's on the mound tonight. It'll be Savage on the mound for the Blue Jays. I know rookie against a veteran, but it's like, I feel like all the pressure is on the Dodgers here, okay? I mean, everybody expected them to be here. Nobody anticipated the Blue Jays to be here, okay? I got Blue Jays game 1, plus 130, 1 unit. Lock it in. I'll see you at the counter. Okay, second game. I'm actually sticking to Toronto here. Let's jump over to the Maple Leafs, who will be hosted by my Buffalo Sabres tonight. Buffalo's actually been pretty solid lately, winners of 3 straight at home, but this is a tough spot for them, okay? Leafs are coming in off 3 full days of rest. Buffalo's playing on a short rest. They didn't play yesterday, but they played the game before. That matters early in the season, okay? It shows up in the puck battles, the energy shifts, the third period pace. And here's an extra storyline to keep an eye on, and one that we will isolate today. John Tavares, 2 goals away from 500 in his career. Everyone in that locker room knows it. They're going to be hunting that milestone, okay? When a player is closing in on something like that, you can feel it in the way that the team plays. Yeah, he's going to get 2 more goals this year, okay? But let's start with 1 tonight, okay? John Tavares, anytime goal, plus 200, half unit. He's in the right form. The situation sets up perfectly for him to get on the board tonight. I think he gets us on a power play goal. But look for his teammates to be feeding him early and often. I think if we get 4 shots on goal here, we probably win this bet. So John Tavares anytime goal plus 200 for a half unit. Lock it in. I will see you at the counter. Okay. Let's talk about Parlay Friday, the grand finale. I've got a half unit on a plus 900. All right. I call this the Toronto Double Trouble. Both teams coming in, playing with some rest, some motivation. Gonna be some fired up crowds. I know that the Maple Leafs, they're in Buffalo, but that's not a far travel for Toronto fans, okay? But every single Blue Jays win, talking about baseball here, has been by 2 or more runs. You heard me say it earlier. Well, that's their blueprint. If Toronto wins, they usually blow teams out. If the Sabres lose, they usually lose by more than 1 goal. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Blue Jays minus 1.5. Think it's like plus 275. And I'm going to pair it with the Maple Leafs minus 1.5. And voila, you got yourself a live plus 900 ticket. Perfect way to close the week. All plus money, all value, all Toronto. Look, I know I don't bet NBA, but if I did, I would probably throw a Toronto team in here just because. Okay? But for all intents and purposes, we've got this 2-legger. And this is doable. Okay? So to get almost 10-1 here is insane to me. All right? Blue Jays on the puck line, or Blue Jays on the run line. Alternate run line minus 1.5. Look, the only way that this kind of can screw us here is if the Blue Jays obviously only win by 1, or this game like gets into extra innings. You only need the 1 run to get to. No ghost runner here. So it does switch up the dynamics and add a little bit, or I guess maybe subtract some variables there. But I don't think we get extra innings here. I think that maybe we get 5 innings out of Blake Snell, maybe 6. Okay. But I think Toronto bats get rocking early, and then maybe the Dodgers just, if they get hit early, maybe Dodgers just go to the bullpen and kind of just lay down to die and regroup in game 2. All right, so we're going to take the Maple Leafs minus 1.5 on the puck line. We're going to pair it with the Blue Jays minus 1.5 on the run line, plus 900. We're going to do a half unit. Let's end this fucking week with a bang. Okay? Excuse my language, but let's recap tonight. Blue Jays on the money line, plus 130. That's 1 unit. John Tavares closing in on 500 career goals. We're going to take him to get a goal tonight at plus 200 for a half unit. And then obviously the Toronto double trouble parlay, Jays minus 1.5, Leafs minus 1.5, plus 900, half unit. That's the card. 3 plays, 2 units in play. All with upside, all built on value. Can't wait for this one to cash and come back and talk about it on Monday morning. But until then, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Good luck with your NFL bets. As always, my name is Q from Black Sheep Betting, and I hope each and every one of you get each and every one of your bets. Peace.